Good evening, everyone. Okay, I hope I stand in the correct position. I just watched Karate Kid Legends, the one with Ch- uh, Jackie Chan and Tom Macchio, Raphael Macchio, right? Um, from the Karate Kid series on, and obviously LaRusso from the original movies. And I want to talk about that movie, but also how taste and perception of something can change, especially in relation to YouTubers and reviews in general. So, okay, let's talk first about the movie real fast. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm a huge Karate Kid fan. I watched it in the 80s. I rewatched the first Karate Kid multiple times, the third one as well. I didn't like the second one too much, to be honest. But the first one, I loved that movie so much. Um, I did not like the one with Jaden Smith. The fourth one was okay-ish as well. But I didn't watch it that many times. The series was good. Didn't watch the last seasons though, and I went into this movie um, without any high expectations because I watched the review of Jeremy Jahns before watching this, and that is the YouTube topic that I want to get to in just a second. So, without too many expectations, I went into this movie, Karate Kid Legends, and I have to say it was very entertaining. It had a new spin on that. I honestly expected the same thing to go over and over again, just like the series, just like the one with Jaden Smith. I thought they just take that story, spin it somewhat in the basically same direction, and yeah, call it Legends. But I was mistaken, or half mistaken. So the first half of the movie is really, I would say, new and very interesting. I was definitely hooked. I liked the storyline. And then you could argue the second half, or not the second half, maybe the last third, or maybe the last quarter of the movie was basically a pretty much similar premise like the first Karate Kid movie, or all of them, basically. So, with in that regard, you could say I was, or I could have been a little bit disappointed because they basically just kind of regurgitated the first movie idea. But because I felt the main protagonist was really good, and is relatable the right word? But it was a new take on this somewhat bullied character, because I mean, let's be real. Karate Kid is always about a character that's getting bullied and then is getting into a tournament. And while that premise for the last third of the movie, or last quarter of the movie, was pretty much the same, he had a completely new take on it, and I really liked that. And that is why the that last part that felt pretty much similar to the rest. And I hope I'm doing an almost good job to kind of not spoil it. I feel like although it was similar, it felt fresh because a protagonist gave everything a new spin to that. So all in all, I really enjoyed this movie. Maybe it was because I didn't have any expectations, but I felt like there was enough new stuff, um, and some nostalgia bait. I need to be really real about that. It still hit home for me. I really like that. I can still say the only negative thing is it did feel at some parts a little bit rushed. So some storylines were kind of prepared and then didn't kind of completely spin out or were fleshed out. So you can kind of see that there was a lot happening, a lot going on, and they wanted to put a lot of stuff into the movie. And that brings me now to the topic of YouTubers, reviews, and different taste and perception. So, in the review of Jeremy Jahns, which I watched for many years, I think he's a great movie reviewer that I put a lot of trust into. I always say when you watch reviews, especially also me coming from my main channel, also doing reviews, I always say watch a couple of reviews to kind of um, prime yourself or calibrate to kind of calibrate yourself to the reviewer. If you watch a couple of that person's review, you can start to understand, okay, what does that person like? What does he or she not like? And where are the similarities to my taste? Because then, especially with my main channel, or in this case, movies, once I see, oh, okay, that's the basic taste, or for main channel, or this is the frame, the body shape that that person has, and that's the kind of stuff that he or she puts in his or her bag, you can understand, okay, if that person, that reviewer likes this or that, it's very likely that that kind of bag or that item fits to me. So I kind of calibrated myself, or not calibrated, but when I started following Jeremy Jahns, and this was before he got 1 million subscribers. So I'm a very early subscriber to his channel. And I always thought like, okay, this dude has basically a similar taste in movies that I have. So I watch his reviews, get a kind of gist. Okay, does he like that movie or that series, more importantly? And I get to that in just a second. If he likes that, I probably will enjoy that movie or that series as well. Especially the older I get, the more responsibilities I have, I really need to kind of, and maybe check out my video from yesterday, kind of need to respect my time. And I don't want to kind of invest time in a series that has multiple episodes, maybe multiple seasons, and then kind of notice in the end, oh, this was a terrible series. I didn't enjoy it. Because especially with series, you kind of need to push through a little bit to completely appreciate the whole picture of the series. And then obviously you watch multiple episodes, multiple hours, and in the end you say yourself, okay, this wasn't worth it, which is the reason why I feel like having a reviewer, especially for series or movies, that you kind of trust, maybe is a really strong word, but trust, yeah, it's important, but in this case it's more you trust in the taste of that person. um and I watch those reviews and I think like, okay, he didn't like that, so maybe not watch that movie. And in this case, I watched the review of his Karate Kid Legends verdict, and he said a couple of things that I totally agree with and totally can see, as like I said, the storyline was a little bit rushed, and some of the parts that wanted to start in the beginning didn't have the time to really play out in the end. But I also noticed that he was kind of missing some of the parts, which is why he also didn't understand some of the parts, which I found surprising that he missed that. But where I kind of want to go here is this for me was a really good example that just like with friends or with other people, you kind of grow apart in a way, and that's life. That's just normal. You kind of see, okay, I guess our taste is kind of diverging, and maybe my taste is has suddenly changed, or maybe his taste has changed, and maybe I'm talking like he's a friend of mine, but he's obviously, I don't know him, but we don't see very eye to eye in that in this movie. I will still continue watching him, but I kind of noticed this, and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, it's um, taste change, and why I am kind of sticking to this point is because kind of, although I know this so much, but sometimes you, as I always say, these videos, it is something becomes much clearer as soon as you verbalize it. If you just play it out in your head, it sometimes isn't as clear. And now I'm verbalizing it, and I realized it because yesterday I got a reality check for my main channel. I deleted my YouTube Studio app and I try not to look at analytics. And you cannot really avoid looking at your analytics because every time you upload the video, you can see your analytics. And for the first time on my main channel, and that was the reality check, you see the first number you see when you go into YouTube Studio app, you see your subscriber count, and then underneath you see a green number for plus subscribers for the, I don't know, last few days, or a red or a grayed out one when nothing changed. And for the first time, I had a red number on that subscriber count, and that was really a reality check. That was something where I was like, "Oh, this is really discouraging." Especially also in terms of view count. I mean, I see it on this channel. Not many people watched it, but I really appreciate all of you who watch regularly. I see you. I see those 20 views for each video, and basically those are all the same people. And I do appreciate you. I always try to kind of visualize, okay, if you 20 people would stand here in this room and listen to me, this room would be crowded, right? So I do appreciate that. But um, in the grand scheme of things, this channel is very small, and I don't want to diminish the work that I put in here, but I don't know how to describe it better. But it doesn't matter that much because I don't earn any money with here. I only have 1,000 subscribers. So, and I really know why I do this. For me, everything that I do here is basically my journal. As I just said, I try to verbalize the thoughts that are in my head. And as soon as they come out of my mouth into this video file, these thoughts become so much clearer. With the main channel, where I have 66,000 subscribers, and where my videos used to, on average, had 5,000 views per video, I noticed that the view count got lower, and honestly, when I put a lot of effort into a video, no one watched that, and I felt so discouraged. And now I can implement this one take vlog style into some of these videos as well. And that might be also the reason why some people kind of unsubscribed. And don't get me wrong, there are so many things in play, and I do know I'm responsible for that. But because I got so discouraged that I put hours, days into a video, and then no one watches that, and then I make an EDC video as a one take vlog without any edits, and that suddenly that video gets 5,000 views, and then it becomes somewhat of this train of thought where I'm like, why should I put so much effort in when no one is watching, right? But anyways, that again, there are multiple factors why my channel isn't working, and I'm totally responsible for that. I'm just saying that is something that is really discouraging sometimes, and especially when I saw that red number. And now kind of spinning it back to this movie thing, I just realized after watching Karate Kid Legends, oh, taste, perception. And this is, I mean, Captain Obvious here, that is totally obvious. But as I said, sometimes you need to verbalize it to realize it. I was sitting there and I'm thinking like, okay, this taste and perception changes. And I changed the videos on my channel, the way I do stuff. Because when I started, all of my videos were highly edited, right? And had a lot of B-roll, and people stopped by for that. Then COVID came, suddenly no one was watching bag reviews and stuff like that. And all of the views were on a decline, and I probably also wanted to change whatever I was doing. So my videos got longer, and I talked more and rambled more. And probably people didn't like that. And now I kind of got discouraged by putting so much effort in a video and no one watches that, and then I think to myself, okay, then let's just do one take vlog, because in this case, especially if it's a first impression, it makes totally sense because it feels more authentic. So I changed that style a little bit as well, and now I realize, okay, maybe some people just don't like that and they unsubscribe. And as I said, seeing that red number is totally clear why that happened. And I totally get now, from a rational, objective standpoint, yeah, I changed the videos. So people who were subscribed to that obviously don't like it as much. And that is okay. That is totally okay. I don't blame anyone for that. And I'm the only one to blame because, again, I do acknowledge that a lot of the things that I change, obviously, either don't people don't like that, or even if I wouldn't have changed, people change, their tastes change, and that is totally fine. That's totally okay. Um, so yeah, that was the realization that I had after watching that movie. um, so what's the takeaway? I guess the takeaway is um not really the takeaway, but I just want to still continue encourage people to continue doing what they're doing. Yes, these numbers watching on your statistic, they are a reality check, and also the numbers, and that is something that I said a couple of episodes ago. I don't want to look at the numbers, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. You upload the video and you cannot avoid looking at the numbers because the video appears underneath all of the other videos that you had uploaded, and the first number is the view count. When you go to YouTube dashboard, even though you deinstall the app from your phone, the first number that you see is a subscriber count. So you cannot avoid kind of getting sucked into that and get discouraged. And I honestly, every time I get to that YouTube Studio app on my main channel, I do get discouraged. But on this channel, the second channel, which is even less successful than my main channel, I do have a clear vision for this. I do this for me, and I mean that is the reason why I keep this so simple, because for me it is all about kind of getting my thoughts out. Maybe someone of you kind of relates to whatever I'm saying, and I've seen some really positive comments, and especially I always need to shout you out, William and Gary. You are the MVPs. You always watch these videos, and honestly, sometimes I I get totally overwhelmed by the amount of kind of support by those people who always watch. And also Steven from my main channel is always watching on the main channel as well. He's sometimes dropping by and also putting comments here, but he's most of the time on the main channel. And it is basically those people who kind of always show up are definitely encouraging. I totally have to say that. That is, and acknowledge that, and I appreciate all of you for you watching. And those are basically the cherry on top. But my mission statement, or my North Star for this channel, and why I honestly with this don't really mind that much if there are not that many views, this for me is something, again, to verbalize whatever is in my brain, put it onto a video file. Maybe some of you can take something out of it, and always remind myself to kind of treat this as a journal. And someone will watch, someone will don't, and that is why I don't mind that much. And I kind of want to encourage you to just continue filming. For my main channel, it is harder, but only because I had a peak, and I kind of compare myself to the old numbers. And I do think there is and that's maybe the biggest kind of trip fall, or the other side of the coin. I always tell myself, kind of compare yourself to your younger self, because I try to look at what I have achieved, look back and kind of see, okay, this is where I was a month ago, a year ago, and look at how much you have progressed. And that always helped me. It is so much easier because you or I sometimes compare myself to others, and that is the thief of joy. But it is very motivating to compare yourself to your younger self because you kind of can recognize what you have achieved. In this case, this doesn't really work because obviously I look at the numbers of my older videos, the younger YouTube, and that is kind of discouraging. So I'm still trying to find my North Star or a new appreciation for my main channel. I love my main channel. I love reviewing items and I love this new style that I'm doing right now with where I can kind of incorporate what I've learned on this channel, meaning one take vlogs, talking just basically fluently without too many breaks. I really enjoy that. But I do recognize, or I do need to acknowledge that not a lot of people in that review space really like that, or at least not from me. There are other back reviewers that do that, just they just talk, they don't edit at all. They're really successful. Um, with me, it's I guess I need to find new people because everyone who subscribed to me is expecting something else, and there is a change on my channel, and I kind of need to embrace that maybe, and try to remember the why. I enjoy making those videos, but sometimes I get sucked into the numbers, and that is probably the worst part about it. Um, so yeah, this was a long video about Karate Kid Legends. But anyway, this I I hope I could you can take something out of it and out of this video and kind of use this as a reminder to look at your channel and look at the videos that you make and not to get discouraged in a way, but also recognize when people stop liking your videos. That is okay because we all kind of change our taste, our perception, and what we like and what we don't not like, and that's okay. Um, and Karate Kid Legends, I really enjoyed it. Liked it. If you like Karate Kid, especially the old ones, not necessarily the one with Jaden Smith. I didn't like that as much. But if you enjoyed the 80s ones, maybe check out Legends. I did enjoy it a lot. So yeah, if you saw it, let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Maybe check out the video from yesterday about, oh no, it was 2 days ago because yesterday I missed making a video up here where I talked about valuing your time. YouTube thinks they like the video done here. And yeah, maybe help me to get to 2,000 subscribers at the end of the year. I mean, it's January. I think 2,000 should be doable at the end of the year by clicking this button up here. That way we see each other in the next video, definitely tomorrow. Thank you very much.